Roy, John, thank you. With that, we welcome you inside the College Basketball Live scoreboard. All smiles today for Darian Williams, the ACC preseason player of the year, the transfer from Texas Tech. But he struggled yesterday as North Carolina State dropped its first game in the Will Wade era. He had just a dozen points, looking to bounce back against Boise State, who lost a heartbreaker to USC out on the islands. And with that, we welcome you inside the College Basketball Live scoreboard. More basketball coming your way in just about a half hour. With Darian Williams and company, I am surrounded by a couple of Final Four coaches, Kevin Keatts, Tom Crean. Great
Hold on
to
one
have
second,
you with
Kevin.
us. Go
I bet
ahead.
he was not smiling like that in that film session.
No, he wasn't.
There's not a chance.
Not a chance.
Fair enough. 4 for 8, 12 points. They need him to be their best player every time out. He certainly wasn't
Had
yesterday.
to get that in. He had to get that in. He's too happy right now. They couldn't have done the film session this morning. He'd still be reeling from that.
No doubt about it.
He's got a lot to prove today.
The expectations are high. As I mentioned, these two guys have went to the Final Four. They know what it's all about. Then Alan Lubin played at North Carolina. Now he moved to North Carolina State. Had 16-9 against the Hall in a loss yesterday. We're about 21 minutes away from them facing Boise State out on the islands. We're back with more and more Joe next. Boise had a heartbreaking loss to USC yesterday. They lost to a D2 team earlier this season. They need a big dub. Maybe they get it over the Pack in 7.5 minutes. Back after this. Coming up, bottom of the hour, NC State, Boise State. I want to ask a big picture question because we have two coaches here. There are going to be a couple teams in this tournament. I'm looking at the bracket right here. They're going to leave Hawai'i with 0 wins. Take me inside what that is like when you leave a tournament over and then have to go on break before you come back.
Well, I'll start. You look at the games and you want to come off and you want to play well in the first game. Let's say you don't. You drop that game. It is so important that you get back to your culture and who you are in the second game because you can lose your identity and then obviously not play the way you need to play, and you can be 0-2. And that's a tough pill to swallow when you're 0-2 in a tournament.
Absolutely. And speaking of Maui, I mean, I've been to the championship game as a coach with Marquette the very next year. We come back. We're at Indiana dealing with what we're dealing with there in 2008. We get beat by 38 by Notre Dame in the first game.
Wow.
We've had to beat Chaminade twice, all right, in the last possession of the game. Chaminade. I mean, it's Tom Izzo, the first win he had in Maui, the first time we went there, the win was Chaminade.
How about that? Okay.
Yeah, the losses were North Carolina with Vince Carter and Antoine Jamison, and Santa Clara with Steve Nash.
Those guys were good. Very
good. But it's very,
very
very challenging. You know, I've won tournaments, as Kevin has. I've been 0-3. What you want is you want to be back on that court as soon as you can. Because if your players don't want back on that court as soon as you can after 0-3, you're probably going to lose your next one. And you want them to be excited and ready to go, and you get a lot of opportunity to teach.
Zubin, give Chaminade some love. They were up 20
against Washington State.
Absolutely.
That's fair. But you kind of emphasize what he said, which is if you can't get back on the court and you don't want to, that's a sign of your culture.
Yeah, it's a sign of your culture. I mean, you know, the games today, when you feel like you can't win the championships, you're not looking to drop that game. You got to get back to who you are. Scouting reports are not important anymore. Yeah. It's playing to your identity. It's playing to your culture right now.
Absolutely. And then you figure out a way that you can steal a win or two that maybe people didn't have you picked to do when you get into December and maybe even January. That's how you overcome it.
Great stuff from the fellas. Hey, just a reminder, I mean, this is the year of the freshmen. Not a lot of people are talking about Matt Abel, but maybe once ACC play starts, they will. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis from the Islands, in 90 seconds, getting you ready for tip, and we will see you at the half.
You're watching ESPN's Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. Welcome to the Southwest Maui Invitational, and another beautiful day here in paradise. Lahaina is the site of the Southwest Maui Invitational. They are competing for a trophy here over this 3-day period. And we begin day number 2 here today. A couple of good teams, including a ranked team at NC State. Both of these teams lost their openers yesterday. Nobody wants to go home with a couple of losses in this tournament. A big, big game for both the Wolfpack and the Broncos. In this one, Seton Hall played great in their win over the Pack. USC by 3 over Boise State. Washington State was down 20 came back to beat the Silver Swords, and then Mo owed him a sensational game as Arizona State defeated Texas to advance into the semifinals. As mentioned, a big game. Will Wade, his thoughts to his team moments ago.
Response over reaction, next play mentality. Next play mentality, let's move forward to today. Let's move forward to today. Our standards, 5 for 5. Toughness by 5+, value that ball, 12 or fewer turnovers, 30+ deflections, 5+ turkeys, then let's win the rebounding battle. We can't talk about it anymore. It's got to be about action, not about talk. It's got to be about action. Complete 40 minutes. Complete 40 minutes. Let's get off to a quick start. Let's be consistent in the middle, then we'll close it in the 6-minute game.
And welcome inside the Lahaina Civic Center, Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. You know when you start spending too much time with a guy, now all of a sudden you're dressing alike without even communicating.
It's a beautiful shirt you're wearing, by the way.
Thank you. You as well. Let's talk about NC State. They were not at their best yesterday. How do they have to be better here today?
The simple answer is they need to be tougher in all aspects of the game and more physical, and they certainly have to be more mindful to get the ball more often to Darian Williams. He only had 8 shot attempts in that game yesterday against Seton Hall. He had 12 points. That's about half his average going into yesterday's game, but they lost the battle of the paint. They didn't keep Seton Hall out of the paint. They didn't keep him out of transition, and they didn't beat him on the glass. Too many second chance opportunities. NC State's a really good team, but they're playing a tough team in Boise State, and they're going to have to raise the level to win this one. And for Boise State, Leon Rice has an excellent player in Javen Buchanan, and Buchanan was very good yesterday against USC, had 18 points. He can back you down. He's got good moves in the post. He can step out and knock down a 3. He actually had a great 3-point opportunity to tie the game at the last second against USC. This Boise State team, Dylan Andrews, if he takes care of the ball, Boise State's got a great shot to beat a ranked team today in NC State.
He had 8 turnovers in yesterday's game, a 3-point loss to USC. It went right down to the final possession. Today is Leon Rice's birthday. What does he want as a gift from his players? Play hard for 40 minutes. So some similarities between what Coach Rice and Coach Wade, the message for their teams. If you're going to lose this game, don't lose it because the other team played harder than you did. The officials today, John Floyd, Rob Rourke, Lamar Simpson. And day 2 here at the Southwest Maui Invitational is about to get going. And now is officially underway, and it'll be Dylan Andrews and Boise State with the first possession of the game.
NC State will play a lot of different defenses in this game against Boise State, and immediately Boise State turns the ball over.
NC State looking to push. A look at the starting lineup for the Wolfpack, brought to you by Southwest. Jay mentioned Darian Williams. It's not like he had a bad shooting game yesterday. He just didn't take a lot of shots. 4 for 8. And this is a guy who can drop 30 on you. He will take the first shot of the game and knock it down.
Well, you knew that Will Wade was going to get him involved early. You can't have a game where he's only got 8 shot attempts.
Boy, the Wolfpack coming out, putting some full court pressure to a certain extent on the Broncos, but Andrews gets it over.
And you really have to be mindful of NC State switching. They'll switch 1 through 5.
Buchanan misses a corner 3. And here comes the Wolfpack. Quadier Copeland played for Will Wade at McNeese State last year, a couple of years at Syracuse before that. Had 6 assists in yesterday's game.
NC State playing 5 out, open middle.
Van Allen Lubin, who had a strong game yesterday, 16 points, 9 rebounds, and it's a quick 4-0 lead for the Pack.
He really does a great job of getting in and out of pick and roll situations. He's quick to set the screen, and then he is quick out of it to the basket.
As we mentioned, he is often undersized compared to who he's defending or playing against, but boy, he gives you a solid day's work every time he is out there.
And a 2-handed rebounder.
Andrews for 3. A little bit strong, and it'll be R.J. Keene of Boise State called for the foul, and not the kind of start that Boise State was looking for, but Will Wade has to be happy.
Well, he's happy because Darian Williams was aggressive. He's got a terrific mid-range game. He can knock down 3, shooting 60% from 3 in this open side pick and roll. A terrific pocket pass off the roll from Van Allen Lubin.
Williams, first team All Big 12 at Texas Tech last year, preseason ACC Player of the Year, and he's got another one. 4 quick points, 6-0 for State.
Well, that's a great sign for NC State to have a much more aggressive Darian Williams out of the gate. I mean, he's had 32 in a game this year against UNC Greensboro, at 28 against VCU. He can put up numbers in a hurry.
Went 4 for 8 with a dozen points in yesterday's game. And NC State has ratcheted up the intensity at the defensive end as well.
That's really where NC State wants to set its reputation, on the defensive end. And a nice little brush screen coming off it, ready to shoot. He's got a complete game. One of the toughest matchup problems in the country, Darian Williams.
Again, both of these teams are coming off a loss yesterday. The loser of this game is going to wind up in the 7th place game. Another turnover by the Broncos. Yes, this is the consolation side of the draw, but big picture, looking at the resume you put together over the course of an entire season, this is a very big game for both of these teams.
You know, you're right, Dan. They're all individual games when you get down to the selection process for the NCAA tournament. They're not, the committee's not going, wait, this is a 5th place game or 7th place game. They don't care.
Copeland to Lubin, and what a start for NC State, doing everything right.
Much more active than they were to start the game yesterday.
And Boise State on the board. Drew Fielder lays it in, a 6'11 junior, a transfer from Georgetown.
That's how you attack pressure. You attack it to score.
The 3 will go for Paul McNeil Jr., and it's 11-2 for the Wolfpack.
McNeil did not have his best game yesterday in the opener. He had 9 points, but only 1 of 5 from 3. Boise State needs Drew Fielder and Andrew Meadow to have good games today.
Meadow, their leading scorer, he had a quiet game yesterday. Fielder wrestling with McNeil for the ball, and players from both teams get in there.
You know, I like that. I mean, I know the officials will say no, but there's nothing in the rule book that says you have to let go of the ball. Not one thing. So don't let go, make the other guy let go.
And the officials are trying to keep everybody calm. Quadir Copeland is talking to an official, being spoken to by an official, a number of other players as well. The foul, I believe, went on McNeil of the Wolfpack, but you can see the NC State fans are approving of the energy their team has brought out today.
Well, I love this. You know, ball gets tied up, they called a foul, but who says you got to let go? I mean, they blew the whistle, but there's no rule against this. And if you don't like that, tough, but I like it.
McNeil will sit. Matt Abel checks in. The 6'6 freshman from Baltimore was one of the bright spots for NC State in the loss yesterday.
Well, he's a really good player. He comes out firing, can really shoot it.
At a season high 15. Buchanan deep in the corner. Good matchup with Williams.
And good help. NC State really alert.
Good low post position by Keene, but he missed the turnaround. Williams, little shovel pass off the fingers of Lubin and out of bounds.
Maybe not the best decision, but you can just see it in the faces of the NC State players. I mean, they've got furrowed brows. They came ready for a fight. It's one thing to come ready to play, but you know your team is in good shape when they come ready for a fight.
Leon Rice makes a couple of subs. He brings Dominic Parolin, a 6th-year senior, spent 4 years at Lehigh. He is into the game. And one of the bright spots for the Broncos yesterday, Pearson Carmichael, a sophomore from Bend, Oregon, who had a nice game. He had 14.7 rebounds in 22 minutes in the loss to USC.
Boise State is a really good program. Leon Rice has done such a great job here, and he's got gamers on this team. It seems like you're down a big number. It's only 3 possessions.
And Andrews knocks down a 3 to make it 11-5.
Andrews started his career at UCLA. He had a really good year 2 years ago, shot 43% from 3.
Started 61 games in his 3 years with the Bruins. Williams very aggressive in the early going, misses the 3, and Andrews rips down the rebound.
Really like how Quadir Copeland played off 2 feet there. Was able to just throw back, get that open 3.
Andrews, and it hit the back of Parolin, who may have been turning to face the basket thinking a shot might be going up. Abel with a burst of speed. And a corner three missed by Copeland.
Didn't get it to go, but great attack by Matt Abel. They want to punch the paint, get as many paint touches as they can.
Meadow, and it goes. Andrew Meadow with a chance for a three-point play, and a little spark here for Boise State going to the first media timeout.
Well, Andrew Meadow is a versatile shooter. He can back you down, really good cutter, really strong, going right into the body of Darian Williams and getting it to go.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Score all-star hospitality on every flight. J-Lab, personal technology and headphones straight from the lab. And Tommy Bahama. Get your holiday gifts at TommyBahama.com. Let's take a look at the experts at work, brought to you by Principal.
Well, NC State going to Darian Williams early, and his movement has been excellent. He only had 8 shot attempts yesterday in the game against Seton Hall. That's just not enough. Now, part of that's on him, part of that's on his teammates, but the fight that NC State has shown to start this game has been impressive, and Will Wade wants him to keep it up for 40 minutes. In his pregame talk, he talked about toughness and some of their stats and all that. He's a heavy analytics guy. But he mentioned they want 5+ turkeys. A turkey in their vernacular is 3 stops in a row. And they want to get 5 of those. What if you get 5 stops in a row?
It's just a larger turkey.
Do you get any credit? Yeah, it's just a big turkey.
Is 6 in a row a double turkey? I guess if you get to 6
in a row would
count as
should count as 2 turkeys.
Yeah. Andrew Meadow is at the line. He, like Darian Williams, had kind of a quiet day by his standards yesterday. The loss to the Trojans, went 4 for 8, scored 9 points. Attempting to complete the 3-point play here. He is their leading scorer at 14.5 per game.
He averaged close to 13 last year and had a really good end of the season. Knocked in about 58 threes on the year.
Even with a missed free throw, it is the Broncos on a 5-0 run right now to make it 11-7. And we have a foul away from the ball.
Just the movement that NC State is showing in this game is a contrast to yesterday. You know, they're moving with a purpose. The ball's moving, there's player movement, and that becomes much harder to guard. They're trying to get 2 on the ball and play out of it.
The foul on Dominic Parolin, number 9 for Boise State, his first. Into Copeland. Aggressive drive, but couldn't lay it in with the left hand. Good defense there by Carmichael.
Yeah, just lost the ball on the way up. When he gets that ball in the middle, he can take it, or he's got the inbounder coming off a staggered double.
Backdoor cut not there.
Just blew up that handoff.
In at the point right now, number 1 for Boise State, A.G. Nato. The kick out to Carmichael, who hits the 3, and just like that, the Broncos are back within 1.
And Carmichael is very skilled offensively, and as he gets tougher, you're looking at a really good player. He had a great game yesterday.
Now an 8-0 run for Boise State after that great start by the Wolfpack. A corner 3, though, for Darian Williams, who's already got 7.
He is so efficient, and that's why he needs more shot attempts. His go in.
Trey Holloman is called for the foul. It definitely looks like Darian Williams, either by his choosing or his coaches, has decided to come out and have a much bigger impact on this game.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is his choosing. When he's aggressive, he draws so much attention, and you better close out to him under control. Carmichael had Meadow in the corner, so he could have given a shot fake and a pass for a shot just as open, but he nailed that one.
So Williams with 7 to lead all scorers so far. This backcourt unit that has come off the bench for Boise State, Carmichael and Nato, both effective yesterday. Here's Spencer Aarons, a freshman from Oakville, Ontario, who misses the 3. But Nato and Carmichael both played well yesterday, and both look like they might get an opportunity to have a big impact here today as Trey Holloman knocks down a 3 for NC State, which they can do that. They are shooting better than 41% as a team from 3-point range. Now a block from behind by Musa Sanye to send the pack out in transition. Williams into the paint, Lost it, got it back, Abel in the corner, and everything is falling for the Wolfpack.
What a difference for NC State. Yesterday, Seton Hall was quicker to the ball, not today.
Boy, a game of runs. Boise State went on an 8-0 run to get it back within one. But, Jay, now NC State in just about a minute has knocked down 3 3-pointers.
And the difference is paint touches. Now, Trey Holloman with a transition 3. He looks like he feels better after that flu battle. But getting the ball in the paint and spraying it. Will Wade, loving it.
Feast Week rolls on tonight. Number 18, UCLA, taking on rival Cal in the Empire Classic at the Chase Center in San Francisco, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, on ESPN and the ESPN app. Back here inside the Lahaina Civic Center, Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. A game of runs already in less than 7 minutes of action. NC State just knocked down 3 threes in a 53-second spurt. Buchanan, and he'll hit one, 20-13.
Boy, what a good pass fake by Nato to open that up. Got the defense to jump, a little 1-2-2 3/4 court pressure. Well done.
Nato is a freshman from Angola, and it certainly looks like, Jay, his role could continue to grow over the course of the season.
Well, he's athletic, he's quick, he can play the point. Played at the NBA Academy in Africa.
He's out there playing alongside Andrews in the backcourt right now. Carmichael for 3. Man, everybody's making shots right now. And the last one, evidently, for Buchanan was scored a 2, had a toe on the line. This one is a 3. It's 20-15.
Carmichael had a really good game against USC. 14 points, 7 rebounds. Really solid.
There's a lot of skill in the second unit, if you will, for Boise State.
Skill, if you will.
Speaking of skill, what a wraparound pass from Williams. Sagne couldn't handle it, and we've got a tie-up.
Boise State not shy, but this is a really good pass fake here. And then a look away, got Buchanan, just foot on the line. But being ready to shoot when you catch it is so important. You're never going to be more open than when you catch the ball. And Pearson Carmichael caught that to shoot it, not just ready to shoot.
And Carmichael with a great game yesterday, earning more minutes today. He's already knocked down a couple of threes. Both teams shooting the 3-ball well. Lubin has returned for the Wolfpack. That's him with the ball. Allen Breed is into the game for the first time as well, and it's a shot clock violation. And Will Wade is pointing to the clock as if to say, come on, guys, you got to know that when you're inbounding the ball.
That's a communication issue. You know, it's like calling out how many outs for an outfielder. Put up 2 fingers, man. They're 2 outs.
Man, Jimmy has a captive audience. Who has more fun down there in the Bahamas than Jimmy Dykes? The Marriott Bonvoy Battle for Atlantis begins tomorrow with the quarterfinals. You heard Jimmy talk about some of the team's semifinals Thursday. Championship Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2. You look at that field, Jay, and that feels like anybody's tournament down there.
Yeah, Vanderbilt probably the best team, but Virginia Tech, Mike Young's got a really good squad, and I agree with Jimmy. Neo Abdallas is the real deal, just a freshman from Greece, and he can really, really play. Jimmy Dykes is turning into the next Marlon Perkins, you know. Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Did you ever watch that?
I did. Yeah, we had that.
It was on right after Wonderful World of Disney, I think.
I think so. You're a few
Sunday
years,
night.
You're a few years older than I am.
I am not. I look younger.
5-point lead, NC State. Both teams shooting well. There hasn't been a made free throw yet in this game. Only 1 free throw attempt. There hasn't been an offensive rebound in the game. It's been getting up and down the floor, knocking down outside shots for both teams. Carmichael could not hit the 3 in the weak side rebound to Ben Allen Lubin.
With NC State flying all over the place, pass fakes and ball fakes, shot fakes are going to be really effective.
A turnover by Williams, the 4th turnover committed by NC State.
Leon Rice and his Boise State program, they've got some similarities to Gonzaga, where he spent so many years with Mark Few and before. And he recruits gamers, guys that want to compete. Maybe the funniest coach in college basketball.
I was just going to say that on the coach sense of humor scale, he's a 10 out of 10. Aggressive drive, the follow not there. Boy, Carmichael is really getting after it, but unable to finish the last couple of opportunities. He does already have 2 made threes in this game. Copeland weaving in and out of traffic, and the pass to Lubin bounces out of bounds. So the two of them are having a quick chat, like just weren't quite on the same page.
Well, it's a good idea, but Lubin was trying to hold off a defender, and the pass was leading him out of bounds. Even if he caught it, he was probably going to catch it underneath the backboard with not a good angle.
Lubin, both of them are very experienced players. Lubin with his 4th school in 4 years. Notre Dame, Vandy, North Carolina, and now NC State in his senior year.
But only 2 conferences.
Right. Three of the 4 in the ACC. Shot clock at 5. Andrews got a switch, elevates for 3. Fielder with the offensive rebound, and he is held underneath.
What a terrific job by Fielder. He just wedged. Looked like it was, I couldn't tell whether it was Lubin, but he wedged him underneath the basket and did a great job there to get that position and just discarded Quadir Copeland.
Javen Buchanan who inbounded for the Broncos. Buchanan, a little forearm to create some space, can't finish it. And it'll stay at this end of the floor with Boise State.
Boy, Buchanan is strong. He just plays bully ball. When he gets a matchup he likes, he can just back him down.
And we saw that for several possessions in a row in the USC game when there was some wings on him who weren't quite as big and strong as he was, and
until they put Ezra Asar on him.
And that was a game changer really for the Trojans. No look pass, Meadow for 3. Fielder got it back, missed again, but a foul.
Yeah, he got fouled twice there. I thought he got fouled the first time too, but
so did he.
Very active on the glass, and that's what Boise State needs out of Drew Fielder. He had 17.6 rebounds against Wichita State. He's a good player, but did not have his best game against USC. 1 of 8 from the field, only had 2 points, and he's much better than that.
So Fielder, who is from Boise, again a couple of years at Georgetown, put his name in the portal, committed to USC, changed his mind, and now with Boise State knocks down the free throw. The foul was on Paul McNeil Jr. for NC State, his 2nd. He'll go to the bench. Terrence Arsenault is into the game, a transfer from Houston. Even though the last few shots from the field haven't gone down, I think Leon Rice has to be really happy with the quality of shot that they are getting.
Yes.
And a lot of that is with the shot fakes you talked about.
Especially after getting punched in the mouth early. They were down 11-2. And I think we talked about the fact, look, it seems like a lot, but it's only 3 possessions. I don't think I got that out of my mouth before they hit a 3 to make it a 2-possession game. But they've weathered the storm.
We've already had 4 runs of at least 7-0 in this game, 2 by each team.
And NC State can really lift you up, and their driving opportunities, just Quadir Copeland couldn't finish that.
A touch for Fielder. Copeland on him. Here comes the double. Copeland knocked it away, and Abel has the ball. A deflection, a good defensive play there by Keene to stop the pack in transition.
Oftentimes on ball reversal, Boise State will look for high-low. They had it, but didn't get the ball to Fielder. And then he doesn't see, he's looking middle, and the double was coming baseline side. And then the top guy, Quadir Copeland, knocks it away from him.
Copeland, Lubin, left hand, no. They've got another shot at it, and that one won't go, but Lubin does earn a trip to the line.
Lubin is very good. We talked about his pick and roll prowess, his getting in and out, but he's pretty darn good when he catches those little pocket passes. He didn't finish it initially with the left hand, but he's there to keep the rebound alive and then strong enough to get fouled going against 2 Boise State defenders.
Averaged about 8.5 points, 5.5 rebounds per game last year with the North Carolina Tar Heels. Led the Heels in rebounding and blocks a season ago.
He was really good over his last 10 games with Carolina.
Leon Rice pleading his case, but doing it in a humorous way. We talked about how funny he is, and he is a very glass half full kind of guy. The all-time winningest coach in Boise State basketball history. A couple of missed free throws for Lubin. Andrews behind the screen, got the switch. And Copeland fouled Parolin inside. As NC State's getting caught with guards on bigs a lot the way they're playing right now.
Well, they switch, and that's exactly the point. But I think Boise State can get more of that on those duck-ins when they seal inside. That has been open, and it was open for Fielder a little bit earlier. He's out of the game, but all these guys can post, and they're going to have some high-low opportunities.
So Copeland's got 2, McNeil's got 2. And Darian Williams is on the bench right now. Has been for a couple of minutes for the Pack. So they've got some firepower sitting down on the bench. And they are scoreless over the last 4.5 minutes.
Well, you can take these guys out now, give them a little rest as you get toward the 8-minute media timeout.
Tipped away, out of bounds, still Boise State ball with 8 on the shot clock.
Terrence Arsenault was on Javen Buchanan, and that's a mismatch. Buchanan trying to post him up, but he did the right thing trying to break contact to get around in front and knock the ball away. Can't get in a wrestling match with Javen Buchanan.
NC State came out playing inspired defense at the beginning of the game. You can see the steals and blocks. That's what Seton Hall did to them yesterday, pulling off the upset.
But getting the ball in has been a chore.
Keene gets out of a tough spot. Buchanan with a shot fake. And the weak side follow for Keene makes it a 1-point game.
He is such a good offensive rebounder. Because R.J. Keene doesn't score very much, sometimes you tend to forget him, but he finds his way to the glass, makes all the little hustle plays that you want.
Yeah, your prototypical glue guy, good passer as well, averaging 2 assists per game. It's a 9-0 run for the Broncos, and they've got a chance to take the lead.
And one of the differences for NC State is the last several possessions, they've not gotten a paint touch. And that's what opened up so many opportunities early.
Again, the double. Parolin swings it. Still lots of time. Andrews, the drive, the finish, and the foul.
Boise State moved the ball from one side of the floor to the other. And then you can attack a defense that is shifting position. And he got that lane line drive. And you drop that top foot, which Allen Breed did, opened up the gate. And that's just a straight line drive to the basket. Then you have to help off a corner shooter.
And Will Wade has seen enough to put Darian Williams back into the game. And again, Williams wasn't sitting because of foul trouble. He's got 1, but he was on the bench for a bit. But it's an 11-0 run right now for Boise State. They've got their first lead of the game. And make it a 12-0 run. Andrews out, Nato back in for the Broncos. Nato right in the grill of Holloman, not letting him advance anywhere easily. And look, 20 seconds have come off the clock, and they haven't gotten anything going yet.
It's all dribbling.
Yep. Deep one for Abel, way too strong. And an empty possession there for the Wolfpack.
Boise State's really tightened up their pick and roll coverages. Multiple switches.
And great anticipation there, the steal by Abel. The Wolfpack have not scored in 6 minutes. Can they end that drought here?
And my guess is they haven't got a paint touch in that amount of time.
A 12-0 run here for the Broncos going into the under 8 media timeout. The first game of 4 here on day 2 here in beautiful Lahaina at the Southwest Maui Invitational. Let's go inside the play, presented by Warby Parker.
Well, Boise State has been very focused over the last 6 minutes or so with their play on both ends of the floor. R.J. Keene getting to the offensive glass, taking advantage of NC State and their switching, finding matchups. And then I think Boise State's defense has tightened up, and NC State is going to have to be more intentional about getting the ball into the paint, whether off the pass or off the drive. Early in the game, NC State was getting paint touches, and that was opening up open threes. But their offense has not been as focused over the last several minutes, and that's one of the reasons that you've seen this drought. You give credit to the Boise State defense, but if you're looking at an NC State perspective, they have not had as focused a movement over the last several minutes, and that's been a problem.
And it certainly is a good offensive team, NC State. They have shown that this season as Abel knocks down a 2 from the corner to tie the game. This is a team, when they play well offensively, they can drop some pretty big numbers on you. First basket in more than 6 minutes to tie the game at 22. Nato with a deep one. Got it!
Well, NC State switched, but Darian Williams didn't switch up into Nato. When you switch, you have to switch to take something away, not just to exchange assignments.
Each team's got 4 made threes right now. Williams slips. Got rid of the ball just in time.
I must have thought he was bobbling it, because when you go down with possession, that's an automatic travel.
And now trapped in the corner, he'll call a timeout. And you can see the NC State players talking to each other about things not going as well as they want them to go at the offensive end.
Well, Darian Williams talking about teammates cutting and moving, but got the ball along the baseline, immediate trap, and he had nowhere to go but call a timeout.
A 15-2 run over the last 7 minutes in favor of the Broncos, who trailed 11-2 quickly here in this one.
When they were down 11-2, I'm sure Leon Rice got him in a huddle and said, guys, it's my birthday.
Right.
This is not the gift I had asked for. And there's Williams not switching, hands not up. He did switch, but not switching to take something away. You got to switch right up into Nato, and Nato took advantage of it. He had plenty of time to shoot that ball with 0 pressure.
Nato had 10 points off the bench in 19 minutes against Southern Cal yesterday. Very quick player. Andrews on the bench, Nato in there as the point guard right now. The two often play together as well. Abel a little bit short, Nato the rebound. Nice look ahead to Meadow. Spinning, hanging, and a foul underneath. Boy, that was good fast break basketball there by Boise State.
Really effective passing ahead. Even though Abel can make that shot, that last shot he took was a 1-dribble pull-up 3 with pressure from Buchanan. That led to the run-out. Just a strong move spinning into the lane to draw contact by Andrew Meadow.
Andrew Meadow, a 6'7" junior from Santa Clara, California.
Santa Clarita,
California. My apologies.
He's a Santa Claritonian.
And now you're just making stuff up. If it makes everybody feel better, it's funny to me and him, but you had to be here yesterday for the first part of the joke.
Well, all the viewers are with us for every minute of play.
Meadow averaged about 3 points per game as a freshman, 12.5 as a sophomore, and he's at 14.5 so far in his junior year. We told the story yesterday about getting rid of the goggles, the peripheral vision better, now wearing contacts. Saved by Keene, but into the hands of Arsenault.
Keene is all over the place. If there's a loose ball, he's going to get it.
A guy who was a big scorer in high school, about 25 a game as a high school senior, but again, does not really look to score. He's going to get his off the offensive glass and so on. But boy, he does a lot of little things that are actually big things for the Broncos. McNeil back in there with 2 fouls and knocks down a 3.
And that's one that Leon Rice isn't going to mind. That was just a great shot and a difficult one, but Javen Buchanan did a great job defensively on Darian Williams.
And an offensive foul at the other end as Nato tried to go coast to coast. What you think? Too much with the right arm?
I'd rather not say. Yeah, that's. I get it, but that's not a foul.
So now the Wolfpack could reclaim the lead.
Well, 1-2-2 3/4 court, slow the advance.
Good matchup again. Darian Williams, Javen Buchanan. Williams had 7 early points in this game.
A little chippy physically.
Now Williams a touch. 5 on the shot clock, and he's fouled. Just the 5th on Boise State as a team. NC State's already over the limit. Number 2 on Nato. So he will sit as Andrews returns. There you can see the later games coming up here with the Southwest Maui Invitational. Seton Hall and USC next. Washington State and Arizona State at 8 Eastern. And then Texas and Chaminade in the late game. Great hustle there by Williams to keep the possession going for the Wolfpack.
And more great defense by Javen Buchanan.
3 no, and Fielder the rebound for the Broncos.
Buchanan is playing so hard at both ends of the floor. I mean, he's taken this Darian Williams assignment straight on.
Another touch for Fielder, but good help there by Lubin and Arsenault to knock it away.
It's too difficult of a pass to try to get over that defense.
Holloman the kick. McNeil the corner 3, in and out. But it bounces to Lubin, who can't finish it. Boy, he had a gimme, went up there with 2 hands and just could not jam it. Fielder puts it on the deck, loses it. 3-on-1, NC State. Arsenault finish and a foul.
Well, you just can't take a charge there. You're not going to get it. You have to take a stand and try to block that shot, but you're not going to get there in time to take a charge on that.
And that bucket will put the Wolfpack back on top in a back-and-forth game here in Maui. Terrence Arsenault finishing it. He'll be at the line when we come back. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's and Mauna Loa Macadamias. Try our new dill pickle macadamias now at Albertsons nationwide.
Kevin, Tom Zubin coming up at the half scores and highlights from around the country, and we'll look ahead to tonight's big game between Tennessee and Houston. A breakdown, preview coming up. What have we seen in the first half?
Well, it's been a game of runs. The good thing for NC State is Darian Williams is very aggressive right now. They got to keep playing the way they played the first few games of the year.
This is Boise State's pace right now, and NC State's gotten a little stagnant. And one reason they're not even in the bonus yet, okay, in a game like this. When you're in a grinder, you got to find a way to get fouled.
Yeah, it's like Jay said yesterday, low-scoring games plays into Boise's favor. That's what we have. We'll see at the half.
Zubin, guys, coaches, thank you very much. The Broncos, their program, they do pride themselves on defense. It definitely does feel this game has been at a Boise State pace, but here's the and one after the turnover, the 3-on-1, and Carmichael trying to take a charge.
Yeah, you got a 3-on-1. I mean, that's a difficult position to be in, but I just don't think Carmichael can afford to take the charge there. You're better off trying to block the shot And if you do foul, make sure that Arsenault isn't able to finish it and turn it into 3.
Terrence Arsenault, a redshirt junior from Beaumont, Texas, appeared in all 40 games for Kelvin Sampson and the Cougars last year, all the way to the national championship game. Has been dealing with a bit of an Achilles issue. Missed a couple of games. Played yesterday, played today as Lubin misses the follow. And Van Allen Lubin is down under the basket. The play continues. And now the officials will blow the whistle with him down on the court right under the basket.
He took a shot. It might have been from his own teammate.
Yeah, it was, Darian Williams. Left arm or left elbow up in the face of Lubin. He is back on his feet, okay, and will remain in the game. McNeil gets a clean look. Can't hit the 3. Peril in the rebound.
That was a good look, but NC State needs to continue to punch the paint. Since their initial push in the game, they just haven't gotten the same amount of paint touches, and give Boise State credit for tightening up the defense.
Buchanan swings it back. Andrews 3 a little bit strong. Perlin runs down the loose ball. It looks like NC State defensively not biting on the fakes as much as maybe they did earlier. Now Perlin wide open and misses a 3, and it belongs to the Wolfpack. Holloman spent 3 years under Tom Izzo at Michigan State. Now McNeil, step back jumper not there. And Buchanan wraps up the rebound. Both teams have gone cold. Andrews shut off on the baseline. Good help by Williams. Now stolen away, Holloman.
Boise State not moving the ball. Way more dribbles than passes.
Arsenault driving up, no good, but a foul.
Terrence Arsenault, when he was at Houston, I think his record was 114. I've always thought that should be in the players, bios and all that. What's the player record?
Yeah.
Like they give you the coach record. Well, I want to know what the player's record is.
I mean, Kelvin Sampson has built one of the premier programs in America. Had an overtime win over Syracuse yesterday. They got a big one against Tennessee later today.
They're all big ones, Dan.
Yeah. Tomorrow, our NBA triple header. Good one. Pistons and Celtics getting it started at 5 o'clock Eastern time. The T-Wolves and the Thunder at 7:30. And then the third game, the Rockets and the Warriors at 10 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN. It all starts with NBA Countdown at 4:30.
How about the Pistons? They've won 13 in a row. And the last 2 times they won 13 in a row, they won the NBA championship.
Look at you. It's now a 7-0 run for NC State. The 5th run of at least 7-0 that one of these teams has had in this game already. Almost turned over, and now it is.
With a dribble to pass ratio too high.
Holloman, nice look. Breed in the corner for 3. And it's all Wolfpack right now.
And that should not be a surprise based upon getting the ball into the paint. Just that penetration into the paint collapses the defense and you can spray it.
Great effort, but it's off the foot of Holloman, out of bounds. But the NC State bench and fans are all on their feet right now.
All 5 white shirts converged on the paint with that Holloman penetration. And Breed wide open. And Will Wade liking the paint touch and what it leads to.
And a timeout on the floor with 1:42 to go here in the first half. It's amazing how for like 3 minutes it's all Boise State. 3 minutes it's all NC State. What is changing back and forth in this game?
Well, they're doing what they want to do and what they're supposed to do. And at times, teams get away from it. Boise State is a really good basketball team, but when NC State is aggressive in getting the ball into the paint, they can take advantage of some overhelp. On that last penetration, you saw some overhelp. You get all 5 guys into the paint, then you can spray it out, and you're getting step-in threes as opposed to contested threes, which NC State, I felt, was settling for a little bit earlier.
Let me ask you about the NC State team right now. Will Wade, his first year, taking over for Kevin Keats, who's in the studio for us on this game. They were picked 4th in the ACC before the season, behind Duke, Louisville, and Carolina. What are realistic expectations for this team this season?
I think this is an NCAA tournament team. And I think Boise State can be too. And Leon Rice took Boise State to 3 straight NCAA tournaments. It would have been 4. They got left out last year as one of the first teams out with a really good basketball team. But I look at NC State, seen them practice and watched them play. This is a tournament team. Now you got to go out and prove it.
They've got some big games coming. They've got Kansas at home in December. They'll go to Auburn as part of the ACC-SEC Challenge next week. And another empty trip for the Broncos.
Never penetrated the defense, just windshield wipers around the perimeter. That's just not good enough.
Williams off the back of the iron, and Pearland soars for the rebound. Williams continues to be aggressive. Now 3 for 6, 7 points, all of those points coming early. The Broncos scoreless for 5 minutes. And a held ball is the call. The possession arrow will keep it with Boise State, but Leon Rice not a fan of that call.
When was it held? I mean, it was held the whole time by Dylan Andrews. He was holding it. Come on. That's not even close.
Andrews cannot get the ball in, and now they got to burn a timeout. And everything that was coming easily at the offensive end of the floor for Boise State has been very complicated and difficult in the last several minutes. And they're down to 1 timeout remaining already here, with this game still in the first half.
With NC State switching, there are opportunities to take advantage of slips, but I still believe that Boise State can look inside even more. They do, especially on ball reversals, get into high-low situations, but I think they can look into the post. Oftentimes, their post touches have been off the lane, which has brought some double teams.
Javen Buchanan just subbed back into the game. He was their best player yesterday, and he's been very good today. We'll see if that gives them a bit of a spark. NC State threw the first punch, and they have thrown the most recent punch in this game, and they are converting off Boise State turnovers, a big reason why they've got a 6-point lead. There's Buchanan, who had 18 to lead the Broncos yesterday. He's only got 2 here today. 1 for 5, 4 rebounds. Keene to Meadow with 10 on the shot clock. Keene, tough pass inside to Fielder.
That's a foul.
And a foul has been called against the Wolfpack.
Really good job by Fielder to get an angle. And then it wasn't an easy pass because of the ball pressure, but Keene able to throw it over the top. I really think this is where Boise State has to keep going. They got to look inside more often. Give themselves an opportunity to get fouled, some easier opportunities in the lane.
The first on Van Allen Lubin, 1-1 for Drew Fielder. The first point for the Broncos in 5.5 minutes. Missed the second, Breed the rebound. About an 8-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. And let's see if NC State takes their time or just goes for the first good look.
Or a really good defense by Buchanan blowing up that handoff.
Arsenault driving and finishing to make it a 7-point game. Plenty of time here for Boise State at the other end. Buchanan can't get baseline. 7 seconds now. Meadow draws a foul. Boy, he was just determined to get into the paint. And that'll be the 10th team foul on NC State, so it's going to be 2 shots.
A little better cutting there from Boise State. When you make those cuts, that drags the defense and can open stuff up. But that was a really strong drive to create the contact and get to the foul line.
So 2 shots for Meadow. And Will Wade making a couple of subs, bringing a couple more offensively minded players back into the game in Abel and McNeil. And 1 of 2 again. They've got a couple of seconds. Williams off the backboard, and that'll bring the first half to a close here in Lahaina. Will Wade and the NC State Wolfpack with a 6-point lead on Boise State. Each of these teams, remember, coming off a loss yesterday. You want to put a win in the bank when you can in this tournament. 6-point lead for the Pack. Let's go to the studio for the halftime report with Zubin, Kevin Keats, and Tom Green.
Dan, thank you very much. Indeed, we are inside. Happy early Thanksgiving to all with a couple of Final Four coaches, Kevin Keats, Tom Crean.
Well, we might, but we don't have Chipotle at the desk. You can't see it, but he's been eating the whole time. And we're just sitting here trying to figure out when we're going to eat.
If there's any week you can eat a little extra, it's this one. I think we all know that.
That's Thursday.
That's Thursday. These guys are killing me. All right, so North Carolina State yesterday, easily their worst effort of the season. It's their first loss under Will Wade, but they have rallied. They have a 6-point lead at the half. What are we saying?
Well, the energy is different. You can tell they're playing with a sense of urgency. No one wants to lose 2 games in a row in this tournament. I think the thing that stands out for me is NC State has forced 11 turnovers and got some easy basket. The player turns Arsenault off the bench has been really good. He's gotten to the free throw line. In order to win the game, they're going to have to continue to play with some sense of urgency.
Okay.
And that sense of urgency is going to come when they score and maybe getting some more pressure, because Boise State is really kind of controlling the pace of the game. They were down 11-2 to start, and from that point on, they've controlled the pace. NC State has got to rebound the ball better. They got to get fouled earlier, and if they can score and set that press, then they've got a chance to change the tempo of this.
Yeah, as the guys have said, lower scoring games tend to favor Boise State. You know, the guys have been saying all game long, even though Boise is trailing, the pace of this game kind of favors them. We'll see what can happen in the second half. We're back to take a look at the Maui bracket right after this. Back on the halftime report, let's take a look at the Maui Bracket Championship game is tomorrow afternoon. Tom, what strikes you here from the semifinals?
Well, right now, Seton Hall and USC were definitely underrated in their leagues. It gives a chance for them to be in a conversation. I think it's going to be a great game. But I like where Arizona State is. If they can come out, match last night's intensity, figure out the game a little earlier with the ball screens, running them higher like they did in the second half, especially with Mo Odoms, I like Arizona State to get to the championship round. And wouldn't it be something if Bobby Hurley wins that, and this contract year that he's got right now wins that going into December? That'd be huge.
That would be. Both of those games will be on ESPN later today. But first, they got to finish off the second half of this game on ESPN2. 6-point lead for the Wolfpack. Second half with Dan and Jay right after this from Hawaii.
You're watching ESPN's Feast Week presented by Lowe's. This is the Southwest Maui Invitational here on the beautiful island of Maui, specifically in Lahaina. NC State leading Boise State by 6 as we get ready to begin the second half. Here are NC State Will Wade, his thoughts moments ago in the locker room with his team.
You're the world's most interesting man. I learned that on this trip. If I didn't learn anything else, I learned that. We meet again. We meet again. You thought you got rid of me. No, I love you. Thought you got rid of me. You can tell me what to do. I'll do it. I'm not very smart, but I'm a good listener. We got a timeout if we need. Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind. We don't have the timeout. No, it's a good timeout. Fuck, it's a good timeout. All right, here we go. Let's close the house.
And my mistake, not his thoughts in the locker room, a compilation of his thoughts from the first half in good spirits with his players and the officials alike.
Yeah, well, that was before the game. But it was not a high-scoring first half, but it was a high-intensity, physical, high-energy first half. And for Boise State, I thought Javen Buchanan did a great job when he was on Darian Williams. Williams got off to a great start at 7 points early and wound up with 7 points in the first half. What Boise State needs to do is take better care of the ball. They had 11 turnovers in that first half, and I think they need to run their offense higher and look inside a little bit more.
A game of runs. It started with an NC State run. The first half finished with an NC State run. It's a 6-point lead for the Wolfpack, and they've got the first possession of the second half as well. The winner of this game will go to the 5th place game tomorrow. The loser will go to the 7th place game tomorrow. Left-handed drive, but Williams cannot finish it. Just like the game began, he took the first shot in the first half for the Wolfpack as well.
Just cleared aside for him to go left, and Buchanan did a nice job contesting him to make him finish it over with the left hand.
How can Boise State get going offensively? They were really stagnant towards the end of the first half. A good look for Dylan Andrews, who knocks down a 3.
Well, Boise State just tried to space the floor on that possession, and those handoffs don't look like much, but they get switches, and you can get the matchup that you want. Van Allen Lubin got switched off on Andrews, and he just took the shot. Smart.
Copeland turns it over. Andrews in transition to finish, and just like that, it's a 1-point game.
And really smart play by Andrews. You know, he had Copeland not in legal guarding position, just went right into his body and created that lane.
A quick 5-0 run for Andrews and the Broncos as Keene, boy, he is great at deflections, isn't he? I'm sure they chart that. They do in every program, and I bet you this guy leads the team.
Just this little handoff action. Doesn't seem like much, but it got Van Allen Lubin switched off on Dylan Andrews. Had to give him some space so he didn't get blown by, and Andrews took advantage of it.
Holloman to Lubin at the free throw line, spins into Fielder and draws the foul. Andrews is called for the foul, and it'll be Van Allen Lubin at the line for the Wolfpack.
Boise State had the free throw advantage in the first half. NC State didn't really get there. There were a lot of threes launched in that first half. Over half Boise State shots were threes in the first half.
Made them both, and the lead is 3. And a little pressure again. Copeland and Holloman are both up in the front court, just trying to slow things down.
Those little nuisance presses, that was a little 2-2-1. Hey, maybe you get a turnover, but really it's about just slowing the advance, and then you don't have to guard as long in the half court.
And the shot clock at 10, and they really haven't gotten into anything. Buchanan finds Andrews. He'll put up a tough jumper from the corner, and down with the rebound, Williams.
Only made 2 passes on that possession, didn't move the NC State defense at all.
Holloman using the screen from Lubin. Pulls up for an 18-footer. And nobody in a red jersey near the glass. Rebound to Buchanan. Back come the Broncos.
Really all the offensive rebounds in the first half went to Boise State. They just weren't able to convert.
Yeah, they had 9 offensive rebounds, but only turned that into 4 second chance points. R.J. Keene knocks down a 3.
Really good job by R.J. Keene to relocate to get in the vision of Drew Fielder. When he got that double down along the baseline, he was able to look out to the three-point line around the top of the key.
He does not shoot often. That's his second made three of the season, and now a Wolfpack turnover.
Watch when this double team comes from the baseline side. Now watch how R.J. Keene goes into an open area and gets right into the vision of Fielder. That relocation made the play.
Is moving without the ball maybe one of the more underappreciated skills that a player has?
Yes, moving period.
That three ties it up at 36.
But you know, when you think about it, moving without the ball, you know, you're going to spend 95% of your time, unless you're a point guard, without the ball in your hands.
Keene again. How about this? All of a sudden, from out of nowhere, R.J. Keene knocks down back-to-back threes.
Well, you talked about his ability to score when he was in high school. And Leon Rice wants R.J. Keene to be more aggressive offensively. He's aggressive everywhere else. He's just right in the middle of the paint here. And it looks like he's setting a screen, but he's going to get a screen right after this. Fielder sets a screen for him. He's wide open along the baseline and drains 2 threes in a row.
Our next game here today in Lahaina, a semifinal. It begins with the Seton Hall Pirates. How impressive were they at both ends of the floor in their win over NC State yesterday? They will take on the Trojans of Southern Cal, who survived against Boise State with a 3-point win. The winner of that game will get a spot in the championship game on Wednesday. How about R.J. Keene? A season-high 8 points. He's knocked down back-to-back threes. And this game of runs theme continues. Back and forth, but from seemingly, Jay, out of nowhere, Keene makes a three and then comes off a screen to get open in the corner. And you talk about being ready to shoot when you catch the ball. Keene was certainly that.
He's such a smart player, and he plays hard on every play. And Leon Rice was saying, you know, we talk about how Leon Rice is funny. Leon thinks that R.J. Keene is the funniest guy on the team, and he says he knows everything about sports. Could win any trivia contest on sports that you have.
Just the second time in his career, and he's a junior, where he's hit 2 threes in a game. Great offensive rebound by Lubin.
Boy, talk about a two-handed rebound.
Holloman floats it up with the left and draws a foul.
I'm not sure that Darian Williams is going to have a tougher defender on him than Javen Buchanan has been on him in this game. Buchanan's got the athleticism, the size to match up with him. There are very few players that match up with him that well. And those are 2 great hairstyles. I am so jealous.
I think that's what they're talking about right now.
Probably not.
Yeah. When you and I talk hairstyles, our conversations are much shorter and much less animated.
Very short. Can you remember the name of your last barber?
Present company excluded, because now it's just me. But, yeah. No chance. There we are.
That's our favorite shot.
Yeah.
Our well-coiffed director, Mike Roig, loves to get that shot to show our baldness. Mine's a choice. Yours, I don't know.
1-point game. Andrews gets it over to Buchanan.
That pressure just really slows everything down, and then Boise State's got to get something going. Here's that weave action to get some switches. Now here's the switch with Ben Allen Lubin on Andrews.
Andrews pulls up for 3. Fielder got a hand on it and got fouled. I think they got Copeland underneath, and they did. It'll be number 3 on Quadir Copeland.
Boise State trying to be intentional about getting a matchup off these switches, but I still think that Boise State can go inside more. One of the problems they've had is the pressure on the ball from NC State has made it difficult to see inside and see those openings.
They have had some mismatches, and Fielder's got Copeland on him right now. They get him the ball.
He got fouled there. That's a foul.
Copeland comes up with a loose ball.
A little surprising there, but getting the ball inside, I think, is it has to be a priority for Boise State.
Copeland with a slam, and the Wolfpack back on top.
Great recognition by Quadir Copeland. He had Drew Fielder guarding him, just gave a little up fake, got him off balance, and blew by him.
First field goal of the second half for NC State gives them the lead. Keene is feeling it, misses that three. And now Boise State trying to match up in transition. McNeil.
Oh, what a great play.
And it was Keene defensively. And then the pass from Fielder off the fingertips of Andrews out of bounds when they had an advantage on that play. Back and forth, they've been going the entire game. And it's NC State back on top right now. Quadir Copeland, little stutter step fake, the two-handed slam, the Pack lead by 1. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's and TickPick. Fans know the best memories start with the best prices. Time now for the play of the game, brought to you by Lodge Cast Iron.
Well, the job that Javen Buchanan has done on Darian Williams has been exemplary. He's got size, athleticism, skill, and will, blowing up those handoff actions. He has done a magnificent job. Early on in the game, first 6 minutes, Darian Williams had 7 points. Since, he's got 0. And in large measure because of the great defense played on him by Javian Buchanan. I don't think he's going to face a tougher defensive assignment all season long that he's facing in Buchanan because of the positional size that he has, the athleticism. I mean, Williams is a tough matchup.
Williams listed at 6'6", 225. Buchanan just a little bit bigger, 6'7", 230. Very physical.
And Williams looks really bothered by it, doesn't he?
Yeah. He does play the game with a great spirit.
Yeah, he's got a great personality. I did the 94 feet thing. I asked him what his first car was. He had a Chevy Equinox. His car's better now.
McNeil the miss, the follow for Williams. If you can't get him a look, let him go get it off the glass. Carmichael, his third three of the game, and this one is all tied up again.
Boise State broke the backcourt pressure to score, and Neto found Carmichael in the corner. His shot preparation, Carmichael's, is really good.
Lubin comes out to get a touch. Now Williams. A switch. Parolin on Williams at the moment. Copeland spinning, hesitating, and drawing the foul. Well, Quadir Copeland's got a way of getting where he wants to go.
He is very shifty with the basketball.
Number 3 on Parolin. Copeland had 6 points, 6 assists in the game yesterday against Seton Hall. One of 2 players Will Wade brought with him from McNeese State, the other being Allen Breed.
And Copeland started his career at Syracuse, and his career high was against NC State at 25 points.
Let's take a look now at the Terry's Chocolate ESPN Events Invitational Bracket. A day of action yesterday, so it's time for the semifinals today. One is done. Towson Liberty, 5 o'clock Eastern on ESPN 2. It'll be UC San Diego and Bradley. Then the championship game Wednesday, noon Eastern, also on ESPN 2.
Well, UC San Diego had a great year last year. NCAA tournament team, the Tritons.
The Wolfpack by 2.
My high school was the mascot was the Titans.
Yeah.
Maybe the Tritons is just 3 Titans.
Nato at the point. Andrews on the bench at the moment for the Broncos. Keene kind of lurking in the near corner right now. A touch for Buchanan. Got Copeland on him. Great defensive play by Abel. Runs it down and lays it in.
Just Cross-court passes diagonal from the post are really dangerous. That's a turnover for a touchdown. Turnovers have really hurt Boise State in this game. Had 11 in the first half.
Abel is an impressive-looking young player. He can shoot it, he can drive it, and he's 6'6" as well, and he's got another one. He'll draw the foul and shoot a couple.
Yeah, those turnovers just put your defense in such a bad spot. And that's 2 in a row that NC State has been able to take the other way. That's just not a good pass. Picked off for a bucket, and then a drop off in traffic. I mean, that's just a weak pass that's not going to get through there.
That is 14 turnovers now committed by Boise State to just 6 by NC State.
And it's the type of turnover that's the killer. I mean, when the turnovers result, when they're steals, when they're marked as steals, then you're in trouble. You throw it out of bounds, at least you get to play 5-on-5.
Yeah, 12 of the 14 are steals. That's a remarkable ratio of live ball turnovers or steals to overall turnovers, and they've got 20 points off turnovers in this game. I mean, this is really as big a storyline as there is in the game today.
Should there be a stat like one thing is a steal when you take it away from somebody? When they give it to you,
right,
that should be marked as like some sort of gift.
Well, like in tennis, an unforced error. A 6-point lead now for the Wolfpack. Julian Bowie has checked in, number 0. First time we're seeing him today. Played 5 minutes in yesterday's game.
Great help by Darian Williams after that shot fake by Fielder. He could have blown by, but Williams really helped off well to take away that drive.
Shot clock's at 1. Meadow draws a foul as they manage to put something together at the last possible moment.
And that was a bailout foul, but a good cut by Meadow to make himself available because Fielder had very few options. You can see Meadow right here, and when Fielder catches, he gets closed out on, and a really nice cut to make himself available.
As we mentioned earlier, this is Boise State's leading scorer. A pretty quiet day yesterday, a quieter day offensively today. What can he do, or what can Leon Rice try to do as a team to get Meadow more involved?
I think part of it is being a little bit stronger with the ball, but you know, NC State is putting really good pressure on the ball. They're switching everything. So back cuts, slips, they're available, but when you've got pressure on the passer, it makes those passes difficult. Those windows shrink as a result of the pressure on the ball.
Meadow knocks both free throws down to make it a 4-point game. Williams, strong drive and finish, and Darian Williams is into double figures now with 11.
Well, it's not that Pearson Carmichael isn't a good defender. He's just not quite as difficult to match up as Buchanan is. And I think that you saw Darian Williams salivating when he saw that matchup and was going to take it on.
A touch for Meadow up top. Lubin on him. 10 to shoot. Carmichael from the wing. And the rebound gobbled up by Lubin.
Another contested shot. Stepped out of bounds, I thought. There's nowhere to go there.
And that's what Will Wade is thinking and saying.
Unforced error.
He might be using a bit of a different term in his own mind, but to each his own. It's going to be an interesting year in Raleigh. New coach, practically a brand new team, a lot of energy, a lot of personality on this team, and you know, especially from their coach's point of view, there won't be any back down from anybody.
Horn set.
Knocked away momentarily by Holloman. Carmichael recovers.
There's good pressure on the ball by Holloman.
And good recovery there. Here's a look for Nato. And the three's not falling the last few times for the Broncos.
NC State's pressure on the ball has been really good.
Boy, Lubin wanted to take that even before he caught it, but he airballed it off the glass. Nato with a burst of speed is fouled by Lubin.
And give Fielder a lot of credit there for shielding off the help side defense. He just boxed out the help side defense to open that lane.
Darian Williams leading the pack with 11. When we come back from this break, he's going 94 feet on the beach with Jay Billis.
I'm on a downslope. He's not taller than me. 94 feet with NC State's Darian Williams. What's your favorite thing to eat?
My grandma's mac and cheese.
What was your first car?
I had a Chevy Equinox back when I was a junior in high school.
What color was it?
Black.
Oh, black Chevy Equinox. Who's the best player you've ever had to guard?
Best player I ever guard was Paulo Banchero in high school when we played against each other in practice.
And how about your favorite teammate right now? If you ever got in trouble, who would you call first on the NC State team?
Van Allen Lubin, because Coach always says he has his stuff together in a more vulgar way, but he just does everything right, and yeah, he's the person I call.
All right, you played at Texas Tech, now you're at NC State. What's better, Texas barbecue or North Carolina barbecue?
I've had Texas barbecue more, so I'm gonna say Texas, but
Ooh.
North Carolina's pretty good though.
It is very good. Best thing about playing for Will Wade?
He's just transparent, and he's all about winning, and the stuff that he knows, I don't understand half the time, but he's just very he's a basketball head through and through.
94 feet.
I'm not sure Coach Wade wants to know that Darian Williams says half the stuff he's saying I don't understand.
My coach would have said that's twice as much as I thought he understood.
That is Williams getting stretched out at the end of the bench right now, so that is something to monitor. It's a 6-point lead for the Wolfpack with A.G. Nato, the freshman from Angola, at the line for Boise State.
I think Will Wade has to be really pleased with the way his defense has performed in this game. The ball pressure has been excellent. I mean, Matt Abel's got 5 steals in this game.
Couple of missed free throws for Nato, so it is still a 6-point ball game.
NC State has a 22-10 advantage in this game in points off turnovers.
Abel drives and kicks. Breed gets a good look. Lubin tips it out of bounds. And that's going to stay here.
Meadow and Fielder were both going after that ball.
I think that Leon Rice is considering a challenge here, but he will say no. One of the officials, Lamar Simpson, asked him if he wanted to. Remember, the coach's challenge is new this year, but they decided against it. You get one. If you're right, you get another one. Arsenault driving, too strong off the glass. Arsenault gave him some good minutes off the bench in the first half. Fielder steps into a 3, knew he missed it, tries to chase it down, but couldn't get there.
One of the few transition opportunities that Boise State has had in this second half.
And an easy 2 on the baseline for Terrence Arsenault.
This is an important possession for Boise State. They need a score here.
Carmichael deep in the corner is pushed by Breed. That'll be the 4th team foul on the Wolfpack. Each team at 4 midway through the second half.
Van Allen Lubin does a really good job of sealing off Meadow here and opening up a lane for Terrence Arsenault to get all the way to the rim. We saw Fielder do that a little bit earlier to Lubin.
Andrews and Keene have now returned to the floor for Boise State.
Good switch by Breed, switched right up into Neto.
Carmichael struggling to retain possession, but is fouled as both Abel and Arsenault were hounding him. They give the foul to Abel. Williams back on his feet.
Is that stretching over on the NC State bench available for announcers? Might go over there.
Got a little something going on.
I might go over there the next time out. Limber up a little.
Yep. Into Keene, who hit a couple of big threes earlier this half.
Boise State has 2 point guards on the floor to help with the ball handling against this pressure.
10 to shoot. Andrews got it. They needed that.
He's been a big part of the Boise State scoring in this game.
He's got 3 threes and a team high 14.
That was a huge bucket.
Holloman driving on Fielder. Fielder got him. Keene in transition. Andrews. Carmichael blocked by Arsenault deep in the corner. And Darian Williams re-entering the game. And he'll get a little bit of time in there without having to think about Javen Buchanan, who was on the bench. Carmichael in some trouble. Ball's loose, and it belongs to the Wolfpack.
Numbers.
Arsenault fortunate to retain possession. It bounces to Lubin, who slams it home. Not exactly how you draw it up in transition, but it worked.
Just active hands knocking the ball away. Another turnover for Boise State leads to transition. And actually losing the ball there might have helped a little bit. You get an assist for that?
That's a good question. They did give him an assist.
An unforced assist.
An unintended assist. 24 points off turnovers for the Wolfpack. Nice drive, but too strong off the glass for Andrews. Williams pulls up for 3. And out of bounds to Boise State.
NC State going to keep on the three-quarter court pressure. And it's really been pressure all game long that Boise State has had to deal with.
And we're going to have a Will Wade challenge on the out-of-bounds call here. Again, you get one coach's challenge. One of the things you can use it for is whose ball should it be. It's no longer the officials just go to the monitor, or you can just ask them and they go all the time.
The coach is challenging to follow on the bounds play.
So Coach Will Wade is challenging the call on the out-of-bounds play. You've got to have a timeout, and you initiate the challenge by using that timeout, and now we'll get some looks.
Basically, it has to be conclusive on this.
I mean, it was definitely Fielder who sent it out of bounds, but did he send it out of bounds off the fingertips of Lubin? I don't know that there's an...
That's going to be the issue. Is it conclusive?
These are hard. Hard to overturn sometimes.
I do like the challenge rule. But basically the only thing worth challenging is an out-of-bounds call. You can challenge a goaltender, basket interference, the restricted arc,
right,
and this.
I mean, they both got their hands on the ball there. The call on the floor was Boise State ball. Is there enough to overturn this?
After review, the play stands.
After review, the play stands, so just not enough evidence to warrant overturning it. So they lose a timeout and they lose their challenge. So Bronco ball with 8:32 to go. They are down 7 to NC State here in the first game of 4 coming your way from the Lahaina Civic Center here with the Southwest Maui Invitational.
So the terminology on these things, confirmed should mean we were right. The call was right. Stands means we didn't have enough to overturn it. And then obviously overturn it, we were wrong.
That is my understanding. That's the way it works in Major League Baseball. Yeah. That's exactly the way the terminology works. Buchanan defended by Williams. Double, kicks it. 5 to shoot. Nato sees it, launches, in and out. And a foul on R.J. Keene. His second.
Well, when you're playing against NC State, you have to make really hard cuts, and you have to continue to do it. You know, cuts and slips will be available, but you have to make them hard.
Sanye into the game for the Wolfpack. Has played sparingly today. Tough left-handed runner there by Abel, won't go. Nato in transition. Andrews fighting his way along the baseline and is fouled by Williams with a timeout on the floor. 7:37 to go here in a beautiful Lahaina on the island of Maui with the Wolfpack up by 7. Well, here at the Southwest Maui Invitational, one of the things Jay Billis said as soon as he landed in the islands is, tell me what I can do to help. How did it go from there?
I'm selfless that way, Dan. I was just waiting for my surfboard.
There you go.
Finally came off. I thought I had it marked priority, but I think everything in my life should be a priority.
Yeah, oh, we're well aware.
You know, the wind almost caught me taking that surfboard off. I almost got carried away. But the people at Southwest are so nice.
Great tradition here in this tournament that began in 1984. NC State and Boise State in the first game of 4 here today. We've got a semifinal coming your way next with Seton Hall and USC. You can see all the list of all of the programs that have won this tournament over the years. Auburn winning it last year. Into Keene.
Just getting the ball in bounds is an adventure.
Ooh, almost a turnover there. Buchanan has it.
These cuts have to be harder. If somebody gets in your way, you got to run them over.
Buchanan steps back for a 3, well short. Tipped out of bounds by Keene, and he is holding his thumb. He did not catch that one on the right hand the way that he wanted to, and he is in some pain. Something to keep an eye on, that right thumb of R.J. Keene.
If you keep an eye on that thumb, you're going to miss a lot of the game.
Williams gets the bounce on the 3, and he's got 14. It's a 10-point lead now for the Wolfpack, tying their biggest of the game. A block underneath, and it belongs to the Pack, and here comes Holloman.
What a block. And NC State has been difficult to score upon. It has not been a game of rhythm, that's for sure.
A turnover off the hip of Buchanan into the hand of Andrews, and Andrews is fouled by Sanye.
Darian Williams getting a little bit of space from R.J. Keene. Hands are down till late. It was contested, but these are the soft rims of Maui. And a terrific block by Sanye, just pinning it to the glass. And every opportunity that Boise State sees, there's always, seems like there's always somebody from NC State that's there to challenge.
A 6'10" freshman, but Sanye is older, 22 years of age. Played professionally for 4 years in Spain's top league, and one thing he can do is block shots. Leon Rice made 2 subs, but he did not take Keene out of the game. And every now and again, Keene continues to look down at his thumb, flexing, shaking out his hand. It is bothering him right now. And he just went over towards the bench during the free throw to say something. Don't know if it was, you know, hey, I might need somebody to take a look at this or not, but he is still on the court as play resumes.
He might have just said happy birthday to Leon.
He might have.
Good pass.
Sanye lays it in and one.
That wasn't the easiest of pickups. That pass was bouncing up by his knees when he grabbed it. And a really good pass. When you run that action in the middle of the floor, it's difficult for there to be help. Just a screen and slip to the basket. And Abel just passes right through the middle of it with a little bounce pass. But that was a great pickup by Sanye.
Will Wade loving it. The Wolfpack back out to a 10-point lead. Sanye has only been to the free throw line 3 times on the young season, has yet to convert on one of them.
Against Seton Hall, NC State gave up the paint. You know, the Pirates had a ton of paint touches, but you haven't seen many paint touches for Boise State in this game.
Boise State has taken 45 shots. 28 of them have been three-pointers.
And the number isn't the issue. It's just that the type of threes. They're all contested threes, and very few of them have been off dribble penetration where you can make 2 play 1. There's one there.
Meadow can't get the shot off. Andrews will. And it'll belong to NC State.
Really good closeout to Meadow by Terrence Arsenault. There was some dribble penetration into the paint. On the kick out, Arsenault was right there to take away the shot.
Arsenault's got a role on this team. They've got a lot of good offensive players, but Arsenault could be a bit of a difference maker at the defensive end, subbing in here and there. Now Leon Rice is challenging this out-of-bounds call.
Well, your point on Terrence Arsenault, you know, he's got great length. He's 6'6", but he's got a wingspan over 7 feet. He can drive it. He's very good in transition, but he needs to be a defensive stopper for this team.
We have a coach's challenge on the out of bounds.
So Will Wade challenged one earlier unsuccessfully. Leon Rice will use his challenge now. The call was Wolfpack ball.
Whose fingernail touched it last? I mean, I don't think they're going to overturn this one either. This will likely be the call stands.
I think they got a puncher's chance at this one, that it might have been off of Williams last, but again, is it conclusive? That's the key word. What do you think?
Yeah, when Williams' right hand comes down,
Yeah.
it looked like he may have touched it.
Right there, yeah. They got a shot
Maybe,
at this one.
Maybe. Yeah, it does look like he touched it last. Even with this, you kind of wonder, is this amount of time worth it? There's part of me that says, you know, let's just live with it.
Here comes the news.
Upon review, the play has been reversed. It will be white ball with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
So a successful challenge for Leon Rice. That means they will keep the challenge. They will have one more available to them, and they've got the ball. Obviously, the later in the game you get, the more aggressive you can afford to be because you're kind of running out of time to use it. Down 11.
I like the positive spin. Successful challenge.
Yes.
Not unsuccessful call. But those are the hardest calls. You
Yeah.
ask any referee, out of bounds is the toughest.
Andrews, no, what a rebound by Buchanan. And he's fouled. So the challenge gets them the ball back, which gets them to the free throw line.
That was a big time rebound by Buchanan. Went after that with both hands. Boy, it's so hard when you're trying to wall up not to bring those arms down. You know, coaches say, you know, elbows by your ears, that kind of thing, but how often are you thinking about putting your elbows by your ears?
Buchanan, who had 18 yesterday, that's just his 3rd point of this game. But he's been expending a lot of energy on the defensive end, trying to contain Darian Williams. As the Pirates look on, ready for their game against USC. These are 2 of the top shot-blocking teams in the nation, the Pirates and the Trojans. It should be a feisty affair.
And USC has to take care of the ball because Shaheen Holloway's Seton Hall team, they thrive off forcing turnovers.
Big wins here in Maui for Seton Hall yesterday over NC State. And how about the Arizona State win over Texas last night in the final game yesterday, 87-86 to earn a spot in the semifinals.
Yeah, Mo Odom was spectacular. The Arizona State guard at 36. Great action run on that last play by NC State. A little back screen and then wide pin down for Darian Williams.
Inside 5 minutes to play. The lead is now a dozen. Buchanan on the wing, Andrews for 3, and they are just not dropping as often as they need them to drop to make a run.
So few opportunities to penetrate against this NC State defense, and Boise State has not been able to get the ball inside at all.
Abel cannot run it down as Arsenault led him a little bit too far. Will Wade with a little positive encouragement in spite of the turnover.
2-2-1 3/4 court pressure, and NC State's kept the pressure on. This is more of a nuisance press, slow the advance.
Fielder. A foul.
They ran a little Iverson cut across the free throw line, extended, and then Fielder was just able to get an angle where you could throw over the top. There goes the Iverson cut. He gives a little brush screen and then gets the switch, and he's got Abel trying to front him, but NC State did a great job converging on the ball. And I can understand what Darian Williams is thinking. He thought he had that ball tied up. Reached in there with both hands.
It's his 4th, Jay, so he will sit at least for the meantime with 4:22 to go, and Fielder will be at the line. And if Boise State is to have any chance, they got to knock down free throws. They can't leave points on the line. Obviously, they're going to have to start making some threes as well. They're just 9 for 30 from three-point range today.
Yeah, they got your point on free throws is right, exactly, but they also have to get stops.
A miss, but another foul.
On a rebound?
And you can see how Will Wade feels about it. It's on Lubin. Watch 22 in red.
Yeah, that's not a foul. That's rebounding. If he grabs somebody, I don't understand that, but that's just rebounding.
Buchanan makes both of them, but still a 10-point game.
1-2-2 3/4 court pressure.
A 3 for Arsenault.
This is his best game in an NC State uniform.
Again, limited minutes because of an Achilles issue, but having a big impact today.
That was a huge bucket for NC State. Getting a little more breathing room going down the stretch.
Inside 4 minutes to play in regulation. Again, Fielder with a guard on him. This time it's Copeland. Into Buchanan, got his man in the air, and did Arsenault get called for the foul from behind?
Really nice job by Buchanan to seal off that switch by NC State. But Terrence Arsenault has had a nice game. 11 points. He's 4 of 5 from the field, 4 rebounds, knocking down the 3 for NC State to give him a little bit of a cushion down the stretch.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. Warby Parker, prescription eyewear for clear vision on and off the court. And Southwest Airlines, score all-star hospitality on every flight.
That's how you eat ice cream, that nice lady there. Don't even use the spoon.
Lots more coming your way here at the Southwest Maui Invitational, including the first semifinal, which will be between Seton Hall and USC. We've got that one for you next on ESPN. The other semi later on tonight with Kanoa Leahy and Sean Farnham. Washington State and Arizona State, the former Pac-12 schools, are having a nice week out here in Lahaina with USC, Washington State, and Arizona State all winning. But Seton Hall is going to come out feisty. They were every bit of that in their win over NC State yesterday. Blocking shots, coming up with steals, getting out in transition. Defense leading to offense. USC, a long athletic team, 2 great shot blocking teams. Rodney Rice, a star for the Trojans. Should be a great game.
It's hard for coaches to get upset when they're wearing a Hawaiian shirt. But at least they're wearing shirts. Remember Mike Bray at Notre Dame after they won this tournament?
Who
took his shirt off.
You know, I've seen a lot of Maui Invitational promotional videos. I don't see that clip very often, though. Mike Bray's the best. The best of the best.
The best.
Yeah. Lubin gets out of pressure and ahead to Copeland. Ooh. And a foul. Boy, Boise State really sped him up, but eventually a foul committed. And it'll be Copeland at the free throw line, a 1-and-1 for the Pack.
One of the things Will Wade said about Quadir Copeland when he took the job, he is a talker. Great communicator, but he said he can also translate what I mean to the rest of the team. He speaks Will Wade already.
Having played for him at McNeese State. And Copeland, by his own admission, talks about as much as anybody you'll ever meet. Says he's doing it for everybody else's benefit, not just his own, but
he'll be into play-by-play then.
Well played. Buchanan up and in.
Boy, talk about a strong drive. And that was just body bumping the entire left-hand drive. And not only drew the foul, but finished the play. He dropped that top foot, opened the gate. He got fouled twice there, but the officials only called the second one. Is that it for Williams?
And Darian Williams has fouled out of this game. A much bigger factor today than he was yesterday, but he is done with 3:15 to go. Arsenault back in. And it's down to an 8-point lead. Still a lot of time left.
Looks like a football play.
Into Holloman. Ahead to Copeland. And an immediate foul by Carmichael, who did reach out and foul him. He was upset about something, not sure what it was. His third. And that'll send them right back to the line.
Well, deciding to give up the foul rather than give up a dunk.
So Copeland at the line, 1-and-1. There are a lot of experienced guys on this NC State team when it comes to bringing the ball up, making good decisions, knocking down free throws. I think Will Wade's got to feel pretty good about the group he's got out there.
Well, Quadir Copeland basically can operate like a point guard. Really good handler and passer, can operate out of pick and roll situations.
And Trey Holloman can do that as well. Carmichael. And a foul on the three-point attempt committed by Holloman.
Boy, the last thing you can have happen. You want to get pressure on it, but just fly by. You just cannot foul a three-point shooter.
And we'll get a look at the replay, but one of the things that the defender has to do is let the shooter land. Not a lot of contact, but enough for a foul call.
Yeah, that's a good point. You made another missed free throw. The shot attempt isn't over until the shooter lands.
Right.
Even though the ball is gone.
Boy, Boise State, 33% from the field, 30% from three, 64% from the line, plus all of the turnovers they've committed. That's a tough way to try to win a basketball game.
But still within striking distance. 3 minutes and change to go in regulation. But it starts on the defensive end. We're getting stops.
Keene looking on from the bench, 2 of 3 from the line for Carmichael to make it an 8-point game once again. And again, a quick foul. For Carmichael, that'll be his 4th. He becomes the first Bronco with 4 in the game. And only 1 second came off the clock. They are not wasting any time committing fouls and putting the Wolfpack on the line. Paul McNeil Jr. at the line for the Pack, and he hits the front end.
Well, he was a prolific high school scorer from Rockingham, North Carolina, known for NASCAR, but he had 2,400 points in high school.
Scored 61 points in the first 3 games of this season. Hasn't been as big of a factor offensively in their last 3, including today, but a couple of big free throws right there.
Good fake.
Nato is fouled by Holloman. I mean, in terms of how slowly the clock is running, or how infrequently the clock is running, Leon Rice has to like that. Still 2:49 to go, but they've been unable to get closer than 8. Carmichael just sat down with 4 fouls. Keene is back in right now in case he has to give a foul. 1 of 2.
Interesting alignment with NC State trying to go 4 across. It eliminates the backside defense.
Wow, Copeland end to end for the two-handed slam.
That has been really effective. It's almost like they're lining up in a football alignment.
Andrews with a 3 at the other end. Copeland gets out of the double team, finds Holloman.
No need to be in a hurry here. Run some offense, burn some clock.
Which is exactly what they're doing. Here comes Lubin up to set a ball screen. Copeland gets the switch, shovels it off to Holloman. 3 on the shot clock. He launches and hits. Big shot for Trey Holloman.
Holloman had a great game against VCU, had a career high 25 in that game.
A lot of experience again out there in that backcourt with Copeland and Holloman, and Andrews with another 3 to help keep him in it. Timeout, Boise State. Still a minute 43 to go as they are back within 8.
You know, Boise State's been going full court man-to-man, but Trey Holloman got a switch, got Fielder on him, just a little step back. A little bit too much space for Fielder to close down. Then on the other end, Just Quadir Copeland trying to stop the drive. They didn't get a switch or anything after that little ghost. And Dylan Andrews pulls up and knocks down the 3 to get them back where they started.
So if you're Leon Rice, what are you telling your team in the huddle right now?
If they're going to stick with full court man-to-man, they can't let anybody get past them. If NC State sticks in kind of this football line of scrimmage alignment, they've gotten a couple things going long with nobody on the backside. So I think you're going to have to stay between your man and the basket, make them catch the ball going back toward the baseline. They're trying to get an initial trap, but the trap's got to be more aggressive.
And for NC State, is it just about good decision-making, be strong with the ball?
You're darn right. Get the ball inbounds first. You know, inbound it cleanly and try to keep it out of that coffin corner where you can get trapped easily. And then if you're strong with the ball, they're going to have to go after the ball. You get fouled, make your free throw, salt the game away.
Again, our next game is the first semifinal of this tournament here today. It'll be Seton Hall, Shaheen Holloway's Pirates with an 11-point win over NC State yesterday. They will be taking on Eric Musselman's USC Trojans. Should be a fun one. Again, a lot of great shot blockers on both sides. It will be a feisty affair with a spot in the championship game here with the Southwest Maui Invitational on the line.
What a difference from yesterday to today for NC State. Yesterday against Seton Hall, NC State gave up 85 points to a team that doesn't really score that much. Oh, just a bad turnover.
And they turn it over right away, and Will Wade can't even bear to look.
It's just a tough angle to inbound the ball. Now, the pass wasn't the best. It was down below the waist. You got to move on to the next play. That's what Will Wade is telling his team right now.
Andrew Meadow is checking back into the game. Leon Rice is making offense-defense substitutions. He just had a 6'8" freshman, Bun Boom, in the game for the first time all day. Boom goes out. Meadow comes back in now that they've got the ball back. Carmichael was open briefly in the corner. Nice little shovel pass. And bothered at the rim by Lubin. Still going after it, Carmichael and Buchanan, but neither one of them could lay it in.
Great contest without fouling by NC State.
Well, Buchanan knows he let one get away. He had an opportunity there, and he doesn't usually miss from in there. But as you say, it was a contested shot. Carmichael has now fouled out.
Well, the defense for NC State has been really impressive in this game. Terrific ball pressure. Now, Terrence Arsenault cracked down from the top, put pressure on it, allowed Ben Allen Lubin to recover.
And it's 2 shots here for Lubin. And look at some of the improvement. Paint points, a big difference. Fast break points, a huge difference.
Yeah, it's been night and day really for NC State. They came out so focused on the defensive end. And Boise State unable to take advantage of the switching. But the ball pressure was really, in my view, the difference.
Andrews has hit a couple of threes in the last 2 minutes. Now he drives in, scores, and is fouled, and he's got a chance for a 3-point play.
He just got the angle, got his shoulders past Trey Holloman, and Holloman kind of chested him up. But you just can't foul there. You know, when you got a lead like this, make him take the tough shot over. But boy, he actually, that was offense initiated contact. That right arm came right into the chest. So Holloman's got a legit complaint there. He didn't create that contact. Dylan Andrews did. But kudos to Andrews for getting the call.
Missed the free throw. Buchanan goes flying. So does Copeland, and NC State's got the ball, and another point left on the line. Boise State has not helped itself at the free throw line in the second half, and it's an easy 2 at the other end as Copeland finds Lubin. Tipped away by Abel, and a foul
No, it was a foul. It was just a late call
on Copeland. And they were off to the races at the other end.
If we wind up seeing that again, I didn't think there was any question it was a foul. Like, watch Copeland here. Like, that's a foul.
That's a foul, yeah. Hand across the chest, trying to tip it away.
I don't know whether they were calling a pull down at the end, but the initial action was clearly a foul.
So Copeland has fouled out 3 different NC State players. Trey Holloman, Quadir Copeland, and Darian Williams have all fouled out of the game, but they've still got a 9-point lead with less than a minute to go. R.J. Keene has returned as Buchanan sits for the Broncos. Huge day for Andrews, the transfer from UCLA. But hasn't gotten enough help from his teammates here today.
Yeah, only 2 players in double figures for Boise State.
Tipped out of bounds by Boom. So Bun Boom, number 3. He's a freshman from Lincoln, Nebraska. Prior to today, he had played only 2 minutes. And he's in there because of his length. He can disrupt things on the inbounds. He's got fouls to give. He hasn't played at all today.
Tough place from which to inbound it.
I'm not sure that Boom thought he would get his number called here in the last couple of minutes. But he can be tenacious defensively as he tries to chase down Breed. But Breed with a nice pass. It's another slam, this time McNeil.
And that's the way you break pressure. Break it to score.
Andrews no. Into the hands of McNeil, and it's a 9-point game with just over 30 seconds to go. Will Wade will use his last timeout. And NC State looks like it is going to survive and hang on and move on to the 5th place game. Boise State in danger of dropping its 2nd game in a row and playing in the 7th place game. Our player of the game, brought to you by Tommy Bahama, is Darian Williams. Yes, he has fouled out, but Jay, unquestionably a lot more impact on this game here today than he had yesterday.
And he had to do it against an excellent defensive job from Javen Buchanan of Boise State. You know, Darian Williams has such a versatile game. He can pull up, he can post, he can knock down threes, handles it. And a terrific teammate. They're coming off that little pin down after they got that back screen wide pin action. Nothing seems to bother him, the preseason ACC Player of the Year. And he has not had his best scoring games here in Maui. 12 points yesterday, only 8 shot attempts. Today, 16 points. Got off to a really good start. I think it was smart for NC State to look for him early, try to get him going. But 16 points with the pressure he faced from Javen Buchanan. I can't say enough about the job Buchanan did on him. I thought his defense was excellent.
The Trojans are waiting. The Pirates are waiting. This has been a long first game here. These 2 teams have been here for a while, waiting to take the court for their semifinal.
When you're in a tournament like this and you're waiting, the one thing you don't want to see is overtime.
We've been here when that's happened, and they just go back up the stairs to the little locker rooms here, and nearly stolen away by Nato, and a foul will send Breed to the line. The winner of this one, looking more and more like NC State, obviously, will go to the 5th place game against the winner of Texas and Chaminade. That is the consolation side of the bracket. Seton Hall, USC, Washington State, Arizona State are the 4 teams in the semifinals. Williams, Holloman, and others looking on as the Wolfpack move closer and closer to a win. Again, some big games coming in the coming weeks, as we mentioned. They will go to Auburn next week as part of the ACC-SEC Challenge. They've got Kansas coming in on December the 13th. You can see that on ESPN. They've got Ole Miss later on in the month as well before they get into conference play.
A 1-3-1 trap.
Lubin got a piece of it out of bounds, and it belongs to the Wolfpack. And Leon Rice is saying, back off, guys, we're done. 15.9 to go, 11-point game. He's calling them off. So NC State will go to 5-1. Boise State will drop to 4-3, their second consecutive loss. Not the kind of birthday Leon Rice wanted to have today. His team loses for the second day in a row, for the Wolfpack play a much better game here today to hold off a good Boise State team, and they'll play for 5th place tomorrow. Will Wade's team wins it going away, 4 in double figures, 81-70. The final here. Darian Williams leading all scorers for the Wolfpack with 16 here today. They made 9 of 21 threes, and they win 81-70 here to move into the 5th place game here tomorrow. Coming up after these messages, the Terry's Chocolate ESPN Events Invitational, UC San Diego and Bradley.